back to another episode of the BigAsp Cornhole podcast. Sean and Dane are with you again.
What is happening, Broseph?
Nothing, man. Just off an exciting, fun-filled weekend at the third ACL Open in Cincinnati.
Then we were down in Cincinnati, and Browns won in Cincinnati.
Boom.
Suck it, Bengals.
Suck it, Bengals, indeed. All right, well, before we jump into all of our fun, we're going to not break tradition here. Okay, we're going to do what we do every episode, and Dane's going to let you know what we're sipping on in a segment we call What You Drinking.
What you drinking?
This is brought to you by your local bag manufacturer, Local Bags.
Yes, sir.
You guys need to fill your arsenal with some of these bags. They have every speed imaginable. Get your hands on a set today. Visit localbags.com and snag them. I'm telling you, you're missing out. All right, so we had some more beers sent to us from a listener, and greatly appreciated is Mr. Jose Valenzuela.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. So he hooked us up with this fine beer called Violet. You're Turning Violet. If you guys don't know, it's a reference to a movie.
A classic.
Sean, can you name that movie?
Willy Wonka.
Thank you.
Boom.
All right, so it says brewed and canned by Martin House Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas. Made in Texas by Texans. 6.3% alcohol by volume. This is a blueberry sour IPA.
I've never had a sour IPA before.
I've never even heard of that. You gotta like sours to like this one.
Gotta like sours.
I thought I was drinking like those old Warhead candies. It literally made my mouth instantly salivate.
Yeah, you puckered pretty quick.
I mean not in the worst way. But honestly, he sent us 4, and we've already had.
We had to test it out before the episode
started.
started.
And they're gone, so it was definitely drinkable.
Yep.
So there's only one thing left to do, Sean, and that's come on, buds, grab your suds, and reach a state of pure inebriation.
All right, this could be one
There
of
we
those
go.
episodes, folks. All right.
That's what 4 beers in early will do to us.
All right.
At least to me. I'm a man of the theater.
All right, so we're gonna kind of I don't know how to really transition from that. There's no easy way, but anyways, so we have another fantastic episode for you all today. We're gonna be reviewing the newest bags released by Draggin Bagz, and then we also have a set of bags by Olympus Bag Company, the Medusa. We're going to recap kind of the third ACL Open that we were just attended in Cincinnati. And then we're going to be joined by the bagsmith himself, Mr. Matty King.
The maker of these here Draggin Bagz.
Absolutely. But before we get into all that, we're going to let you know what's going on in our Cornhole Lives in a segment we call In and Around the Hole.
Brought to you by Airwolf Athletics. Go on their website, grab yourself some swag. Visit airwolfathletics.com, use code BigAsp, and it'll get you 10% off.
At this point in your Cornhole life, if you haven't added a set of the sexiest bags around, you're doing something wrong. That's right, folks. Blackjack Cornhole bags. You get free shipping, amazing customer service. It's a no-brainer. So stop what you're doing and go grab your gear from blackjackcornhole.com. BigAsp will save you 10%. 10%. All right, so I know we threw a little bit at the Open.
We did.
We got there early. Not right as the doors were open, but I mean, we walked in the door at 8.
Yeah.
I was surprised by the number of people that were already in there.
A lot of early risers.
Basically, one half of the venue was already taking up all the boards.
I think a lot of them were planning ahead, for daylight savings.
Something like that, but we threw a little bit in the beginning. We actually warmed up quite a bit with Mr. Chad Webb and Brian Schramm.
Yeah.
Got to throw with them quite a bit. But yeah, it was okay. I mean, we played a fun match with Josh Zeller and I didn't catch his partner's name.
I can't remember her name either.
I feel terrible, but you were throwing against her, so you should know.
She's kicking my butt.
But yeah, so it was fun. But yeah, the boards were playing extremely slow.
Yes.
Across the whole venue. One room in particular, the boards were playing much slower than the other.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a kind of a theme throughout the whole weekend, watching people make adjustments with bags.
Yeah.
It was also interesting to see how some players who claim that they really like sticky boards and they thrive in those situations, they still went with slick bags.
I mean, I think because they were still able to manipulate those bags because it was so sticky.
Yeah,
I mean, you could literally throw, like, if you're used to throwing straight carpet, you can switch to that surefire type fabric and still do the same stuff with it.
Yeah,
how
it
slow
was. It was pretty crazy. So let's go ahead. Let's start with with doubles since that's what we were there for.
Yeah.
So doubles was held on Saturday, and that was what we were trying. We went down there to provide as much live feed commentary we could. We posted. We tried to get to as many of the big time matches. The problem was the Wi-Fi in the center wasn't great, so that ACL score zone wasn't uploading on my phone real fast. So luckily, shout out to those guys at home that sent me messages about what boards the big matches were coming on.
It was a huge help.
There was a few times where they sent, hey, go to board 29. I just wandered over there, didn't know who was going to be there. I'm like, oh yeah, this is a good call.
Studs.
I think the first time that happened was actually Josh and Derek Holland versus Windsor and Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good freaking match to go live stream. But
I would say so.
I also did the... Let's see, we did the Bernasette and Smith versus Wooten and Eric Davis, and we also did the Bernasette Smith versus Tanner and Easy.
Yeah.
I did a few Tanner Easy matches because like they had a pretty tough lineup.
Yeah.
To go against. They also played off against Eric Anderson and Victor Glass.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was all across. Two themes: boards were sticky. This event was loaded.
Yes.
Tons of talent.
I mean, pros just kept telling us, like, this might as well be a national.
This felt like a national event with the amount of pros that were in there. People kind of from all over. But yeah, it was definitely great competition. And it was nice to see even some of, like, the local non-pros step up and perform pretty well.
Absolutely. And to me, it's kind of... I like to see that these open events are starting to become like a gauntlet because, to me, it's saying that the pros are taking this season more serious.
Yep.
They're getting prepared for the bigger tournaments, and it's starting to show. I mean, we're seeing some fantastic bags already, and I mean, it's going to be a fun season.
All right, so in doubles, the doubles event was won by Guy Nation. Matt and Brett Guy teamed up for an open event. No, they're not partners for the regular ACL season, but these open events, you're going to see it's pretty common for these pros to kind of just switch it up. You know, have some fun, play with somebody a little different. Matt and Brett typically play together in these open events. They look really good. They're throwing the fire incinerator bags. I can tell you one thing for sure. Matt likes the bags a lot more than Brett does.
Yes.
Brett, I don't know if he was just having an off day. Just looked like he never quite found it. He was doing enough, obviously, to win.
He found it in the right moments.
It helped the fact that Matt was, like, through rounders, was averaging well over an 11 or something like that. I mean,
just on another level.
So it was impressive. I liked seeing them win. It'd been a long time since we've seen them win as a duo, like on the ACL stage. So it was nice to see that they kind of got over the hump as a team to get back on top. They ended up beating, ironically, another Fire Cornhole member, Jamie Graham, who had partnered up for this event with Jordan Power. Graham and Power, I mean, if I'm Jamie Graham, I'm basically playing with Matt Guy kind of player.
Yeah.
A guy that's he really doesn't like to play, he doesn't want to play like a messy game. He wants to put bags in the hole. Jordan Power, after watching him live in person again, he might be the most entertaining player in Cornhole.
I mean, I hate when people think that it's like, that he's like disrespectful because he's not. It's all like channeled inward.
Yeah, correct.
He never directs anything towards anyone. It's all just him being pumped up, and to anyone, it's toward the crowd is who he likes to get with. And yeah, he's an electric player to watch, and his game backs it up tenfold.
Jordan Power's the kind of player that he thrives when he thinks everyone's against him. So it's almost like he tries to manufacture that himself.
It's the Rudy mentality.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, but seriously, I mean, the guy, there was times where he was like going on the streak and, you know, he'd give up a few points and come back and he'd be like not talking shit, but like running his mouth a little bit. And it was like, well, who are you directing that at? Like, no one was like talking shit to you the first time.
Yeah.
But when he gets on that roll, from then on, it was every match I watched him, he didn't start off real hot. There would always be like that one little hiccup, one or two rounds where he was giving up 3-4 points, and then something clicked and he found it, and from that it didn't seem like he missed again.
What clicked was he gave up points.
Yes,
he wants to win every match 21-0.
Yeah, correct. But yeah, Guy Nation over Graham and Power. It was a good match. Listen, both of those teams were in like a little preview article that I wrote up.
Yeah.
Not going to be surprised if either team of those won. I wasn't surprised that those guys were the ones in the final after watching them play all day.
Mm-hmm. And, like we got to, like we were doing our stuff through K9.
Yep.
When we were up there, so I mean, once we got everyone seated into Tier 1, dude, I felt like we had just phenomenal matchup after phenomenal matchup on that stage. like
that's what I'm saying. It really felt like a national event.
Yeah, I mean, if you're listening to this and you want to see all these matches, visit K9 Unit on Facebook. You can see all the live stream on there.
Yep.
I think it's up. Half of it's on like
we
ACL.
shared it on our page. So if you can't find K9 Unit, go to our page. Find the streams that are non-ACL. It's the K9 Unit one. Go give them a like.
Yeah.
Wally is.
Give him a follow.
Listen, Wally's the best in the business when it comes to like that live streaming stuff. He has got the stuff down to a science. I mean, not to toot our own horn. I thought the three of us did a good job. Like, sometimes it's tough with having three people on one mic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, we didn't really talk over each other. I thought we had pretty good banter back and forth. But Wally makes everything really easy. Behind the scenes, there was some technical stuff going on. You wouldn't have known it.
No, I mean,
he is
we
calm,
literally
cool,
had
and
somebody
collected.
walk up and unplug the entire setup.
Yeah, he's calm, cool, and collected. He just kind of handled everything on the fly. ACL needs to pay that man.
Yes.
Pay that man. Like, let's get him to every event.
He should be.
He busts his ass. He does everything really well, and he likes us. So I would listen. Well, again, thank you. I know we told you this in person, but thank you again for inviting us to come down with you. We had a blast. I would do it anytime with you, brother. So again, go give it K9 Unit a like on Facebook. If you can't find them, go to our page. Check out the live streams, and you'll find them that way.
Yeah, and for the record, for those of you in attendance to these events, if I'm sitting behind the desk, like, it means I'm actually commentating. Like, I mean, I think it was just because I was, like, kind of toward the side. Yeah. Everyone thought that they could just come up and talk to me, which, don't get me wrong, I love chit-chatting with people and fans and stuff, but, yeah, in the middle of the commentary, it was just non-stop, I felt like, especially toward the end of the night, but it was alright. I mean, still had a blast. Loved seeing everyone out there.
Going back to doubles, Guy Nation beats Jamie Graham in power. And then in second place in each bracket, we had Ryan Windsor and Devin Harbaugh, and then Tyler Cobb and Jimmy Humans. I thought out of that bunch, the one that impressed me the most was Jimmy Humans.
Humans, hands down, man.
I thought he was super impressive watching him all day.
Cobb was a little thrown off by the speed of the board, I felt like, because we saw him flip his bag a couple times.
Apparently in singles, he must have found it.
Yeah, because he tore it up. But,
because in doubles, he was just a little bit off. Now, if he would have been on, I think that we can have an argument that they could have been...
They could have taken it.
Very much so. Mm-hmm. I mean, they really were... They could have made it there, at least in the finals. I mean, they're one game short of making it to the finals, but Jimmy Humans was flat out stroking. He, to me, proved that if he can throw at that level consistently, I mean, he's going to be in a top 10, top 15 consideration for this year.
Absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt. After watching him this weekend, it's very apparent that he is on that pace, and I mean, his game is only... It's been a steep incline.
Yep.
So let's see how far he can keep it rolling.
In third place in each bracket, we had Josh and Derek Holland, and then we had Russell Tabers and Randall Garrison, both ACO guys.
Yeah. Came
over to the ACL event, had a lot of success. It's not anything new seeing like the top tier ACO guys coming over to the ACL Opens, having some success.
Fun duo to watch because they should be every backyard player's like favorite team.
Oh yeah,
because they don't throw pretty bags.
Nope.
They just mastered their throw.
And their airmail is on
next
point.
level. I mean, we watched them one game. I think both of them back and forth hit back-to-back 3 airmail rounds. I'm like,
now,
holy
I'll say,
crap.
Randall Garrison, I've heard the name before.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I haven't
too.
really gotten to see him play live a whole lot, but I've heard the name enough to know that he's a top-tier player, right? Russell Tabers, a Vortex-sponsored player, really, really impressed me.
Yes.
Again, doesn't throw the prettiest bag in the world, but the bags just seem to find the hole.
It works.
So they were very impressive, especially making a deep run and how stacked these brackets were. I was very impressed by those guys.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see. A few other teams of note. We had their coming out party. Cheyenne, Renner, and James Baldwin. First event that we get to see them paired up. They tied fourth in their bracket. Cheyenne Renner was doing Cheyenne Renner type things.
Yeah, she was
really pouring bags in. Baldwin was up and down. I had made a comment before earlier in an episode saying, can she kind of right the ship in the beginning long enough for Baldwin to find it? Because he's kind of a slow starter.
Yeah.
Listen, they finished fourth in the bracket. They're still tier 1. They still overall had a very solid performance.
Yes, they did.
Do I think that they're going to be as good as Kamba and Baldwin were? I don't know yet. They have the potential to be, and I never thought I'd say this. It almost feels like anti-cornhole to say it, but like I think James Baldwin's the question mark right now, not Cheyenne Renner.
Yeah, I mean he's just gotta find his doubles game again. I think he's a seasoned enough pro that he's going to.
He's going to.
But it's just when. How long are we gonna have to wait for him to find it? I don't think it'll be long.
Adam Hissner, Cody Henderson. I think they were. If you ask them right now, I think they'd be a little disappointed where they finished. They were relatively, close to home.
Honestly,
home state event.
I thought the boards were in their favor too.
I really did too.
Yeah, I mean
really
they
did.
love that sticky
Henderson
game.
never seemed to quite find it.
No, he I wouldn't say he was off. It was more just like he just never had that, like, it wasn't falling halfway in the hole for him.
Yeah.
And it just made his job that much harder the whole time.
When the talent is this deep now, you don't have the luxury of not being at 100%.
Yeah.
You have to bring your A+ game every single time. Mm-hmm. Let's see, who else? We had Nate Stevens and Dakota Sally. They had a nice little run. I didn't get to see them play live at all, but I'm familiar with Nate Stevens, very solid player. The team that's, I think, surprised me a little bit, Lester Price and Corey Morrison. I've heard Corey Morrison's name 100 times. I know he's a fantastic player. He didn't play his best games when we got to see him on the live broadcast, but I love his follow-through.
Yeah.
He's got a real exaggerated follow-through. I can see why he's known in the area. I think he's a Kentucky boy, known as in the area as one of their top players. Lester Price, another one. He just seems like he's so up and down. Like, he had some rounds where you're like, oh, that's Lester Price of like 2-3 years ago, and then he had other rounds where like it looked like he hadn't touched a bag in 6 months. If he can kind of level that off, and I believe those two are playing together this year in doubles.
I think they are. I can't remember though.
I mean, they can make a run. Do I see them winning a national? No, probably not. But they can make some noise and ruin some people's days.
I mean, to me, I was more impressed with, like you said, Morrison's game throughout the day. I watched like 3 of their matches once we got to tier 1, and they were. Every one of them was a close match, but I felt like Morrison kept them in it, and then eventually Price would finish it. It was just kind of the 3 matches I watched were all kind of that same script.
The team, now, this is not like a... Well, I guess it kind of is a local bag endorsement. A local bag sponsor team that I wanted to see where they were at. Because I really didn't know, as a doubles dynamic, where they were going to be at, was Berkeley Pear and Jordan Langworthy. Mm-hmm. Berkeley Pear, we know, is coming in as this ACL rookie, highly touted, very talented player, going with a veteran player of Jordan Langworthy who's been there, done that, but it's still seeming like he's trying to find his way back a little bit. He apparently found it. They were stroking all day. I got to see their very first match, which was probably not their best match. They ended up squeaking out a win, but they did enough to win. But anytime you can finish tied for 5th in a bracket like this, as stacked as it was, it means they're obviously were figuring it out and had nice chemistry.
Yeah, I think they'll be a fun team to watch this year, and I think when it came to the very first couple matches for them, because like you said, you watched their first one, I saw their second match. I think it was board speed again that just threw them off at the start. Once once they figured out how hard to throw, I mean, they were a whole different team.
We had Dave Sutton and Jeremy Frazier.
Sure.
Either
Frazier.
tomato.
Yeah.
They ended up tying for 7th, along with Kevin Allen, Jeff Reynolds, Dave Morris, Noah Almanza, and Jordan Kamba and Ashton Spees. Frazier, however you say it, this kid is super impressive. Mm. You look at him and you think like, oh, stuff him in a locker kind of kid. You know what I mean? But you watch him throw, and the kid just doesn't miss. I believe, at least after rounders, he was 2nd or 3rd in overall PPR. The kid just pours bags in the hole. Super tough. Dave Sutton is one of my favorite players to watch. They played really, really well together. Made a nice deep run. And then David Morris, Noah Almanza. They're a doubles team that if Noah plays up to his potential, like how he was, they're going to be sneaky good.
Absolutely.
We saw Sutton and Morris last year have some success late in the season. I think if Morris can hold up his end of the bargain, I mean, we'll talk about Almanza a little bit more coming up, but they can make some noise this season.
Yeah, Almanza made you and I both seem like very smart men.
Yeah. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and switch over to singles. All right.
Let's switch it over.
So, spoiler alert, singles, they had...
Just real quick, I forgot, on the doubles bracket, though, we got to watch our boy, EA, with Victor Glass.
Yes.
Finally, on the national, it was a national broadcast, but on that main court, people got to see Victor Glass in his game.
Yeah.
Just watch out, because he was...
Victor Glass threw really well in doubles.
Great. So, hats off to you, Victor. You looked great in doubles. EA, I know that you may not have thought you threw that great, but you were throwing pretty damn well, too. And then...
Well, Eric was struggling with... I even tried taping him up.
Yeah.
He was dealing with a shoulder. And Eric throws really hard. And I think they were sticking with throwing Vikings. I think it was just throwing him off a little bit. The next day in singles, you're gonna hear his name coming up here. He switched over to BG Dark Slides, which is a slick bag, which is so outside of what is typical for EA. But he showed that he could be versatile, which is a huge step, I think, in his game.
I mean, the one thing that we always say about EA is that he just looks like a natural thrower.
Yeah.
And put any bag in that kid's hand, he's going to be able to make it.
Yep.
He's not going to be able to do his crazy dance moves with it like he likes to, but just stroke it.
All right, singles. Noah Almanza takes it down. There were eight brackets.
Yes.
All right. There were 8 separate tier 1 or level 1 advanced, whatever you want to call it, brackets. Each bracket had a winner.
So the way that these brackets were seeded for those of you at home is different this year. It's not based off of the rounders for doubles. This is entirely based off of your ACL rank in your region.
That's what I've heard.
So if you were a competitive level player, you played in competitive singles. And I mean, that's how many advanced level players made it out to this
there was a pretty stacked round. So Noah Almanza, ACL rookie. We had mentioned him a few times on the show as kind of a guy to watch out for. Did I expect him to win this event? I didn't expect him necessarily to win, but I expected him to show what he could do.
Yeah.
When he won his bracket, I'm like, all right, I felt validated a little bit. Mm-hmm. I feel dumb now for not picking him to win the bracket. I had him in. I posted on Facebook and on Twitter, when I first saw the 8 brackets come out, first thing, as soon as I saw him, I just picked a winner in each bracket. I picked Philip Lopez to win the bracket, and I put him in parentheses, just I went back and forth. He beat Philip Lopez in the final, so I'm like, all right, that counts. And then the other one I could not decide.
No, it doesn't, Sean. It does not count.
The other one I guessed wrong was I had Cheyenne Renner in parentheses, and I can't remember who she beat out. But anyways, Noah Almanza in singles beat out Brandon Bobilia. I know him as a player. I don't know how the fuck to pronounce his last name. Bobia.
So Bobby Bonilla.
But he's actually been on an ESPN broadcast before, a few years back, in advanced doubles. I think in the semifinal, he made the final 4 kind of thing.
Yeah, and
the kid can sling.
They didn't pronounce his name right either then. So.
But I tell you what though, watching him, he was on a tear, just down the middle. All bags around the hole. He has a nasty airmail to match it. Really super impressed. And actually, Noah was down early in the finals. But the kid just throws just a crazy nice bag. And has a natural cut to it. And he's robotic a little bit. You know what I mean?
He's...
down the middle, he just hits all the big shots.
He's that guy when he gets in that groove.
Yeah.
He's nearly impossible
to
beat.
And he looks like he's always having fun.
Yeah.
And to be so young and to be a rookie and just to kind of handle the pressure that he did and he still looked like he was enjoying himself.
It shows that's
when a player is scary.
Yeah, and that's exactly.
When you don't take yourself too seriously, that's when you can be really scary.
I mean, to me, a la Jordan Power.
Yeah.
Even though he gets all riled up, he looks angry all the time. He's just enjoying himself.
All right, tied for third, we had Jamie Graham and then Matt Guy. Again, you could have told me that Matt Guy or Jamie Graham would have won the event. I didn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised.
You know what's really scary is that Matt Guy and Jamie Graham in doubles, although they played separately, they threw the same bag, and they both look fucking really good. Yes. That does not bode well for the rest of the ACL when those two get back together as a team, because the Fire Incinerators. I talked to Jamie Graham a little bit off the mic and just asked him, what are you liking? What are you throwing? He's like, I'm throwing the Incinerators. This is my new bag. And I'm like, it's basically an all slide. Yeah. And that's what he was, when he was on his deep runs all the time, he was throwing an all slide.
When I mentioned it
he
on...
just feels, and he just looks comfortable.
Yeah.
He'd stop doing his fucking step. He's just standing there, spinning the bag down. He just looked natural. He looked like Jamie Graham from 2 seasons ago.
So, like I mentioned on the broadcast when we had his match, it was one... I think we had, 2 of his matches on there? In one of his matches, he kept hitting the same shot where a blocker was sitting on his side.
Yep.
And he spins that bag nice and hard down the middle, and he's able to just kind of barely touch that bag and wrap it around the back of the hole. And he did it like 2 straight throws in a row, and I'm like, that's what he was missing last year.
Yep.
That was the bag that kept scooting off the back for him, or he would just hang it in front.
Yeah, but Graham,
now he has the confidence to go around that bag again, and it makes him just lights out.
Yeah, I mean, they were a doubles team last year, so it's not like some big shock or some big bold statement saying that they're going to be really good again this year. They could be even better this year.
Although they were the best doubles team last year,
yeah,
I think people were still disappointed in how they finished.
In doubles or singles?
I mean, and don't get me wrong. Like, to me, in doubles, I felt like everyone still thought they were going to do more somehow. I don't know why.
Yeah, but I mean, they just ran into Eric Davis last year, who was the best doubles player in the country last year. It is what it is. I mean, I just think that it's a scary thought thinking that both Matt and Jamie both found the same bag that they really like and that they're comfortable with. All right, so rounding out the other bracket winners was Kenzie Beach, Eric Anderson, Cheyenne Renner, Trey Birchfield. They rounded out. They finished up the other bracket winners. They all tied for 5th. Listen, anytime you can go through that gauntlet and you win your bracket, hats off. It doesn't matter if you lost in that final 8 or not. You still won your bracket. Hats off to each one of you guys. You all killed it. I feel stupid for picking anybody but Trey Birchfield to win his bracket. I picked Josh Holland, who ended up taking second. He lost to Birchfield. But it is what it is. You're going to get some wrong.
Yeah, I mean, that's a toss-up, though.
I didn't see where Alex Rawls finished up in singles, and that's what I wanted to see. And that was a team that we didn't mention in doubles. That was, I think people were excited to see how they were going to do, Birchfield and Rawls. I got to see the tail end of one that you live streamed. Mm-hmm. Rawls was looking really good.
He had some crazy shots.
The next match I watched, not so good. No bueno.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see this up and down. You know what you're going to get from Trey Birchfield. Mm-hmm. You're going to get a 10 plus PPR from the kid almost every game he goes out to. There's going to be a little pressure on Rawls, and that's what I was saying early on in the season. Where does he kind of sit? And
to me, I think like he's right to put that pressure on himself for doubles.
Yeah.
But when it comes to singles, like, he's going to be, I don't know, like, he's going to be more lax, and that's why I don't see him finishing in the top 20 this year for singles.
We'll see. Let's see. We had Jordan Power, Ryan Windsor, Easy, Eric Zockline, Jeremy Schermerhorn, Jeremy Frazier, again, another name that keeps popping up, Philip Lopez, Eric Davis, and Josh Holland. Those were the second place finishers in the bracket. Mm-hmm. I mean, you just go down that list. If you would have flip-flopped the 8 that won to the 8 that took second place, you wouldn't have been surprised.
No.
Cream of the crop, it rises to the top. It is what it is. All in all,
now, look at that little rhyme he had there.
Hey man,
nice little ditty.
Never once in a while.
I don't really know if
it didn't, but it
makes sense, but that's all right.
Listen, I was happy we were able to get to this one, at least for doubles. Singles, I wish we could have stayed with, but it is what it is. There was so much talent there. It was nice to interact. It was nice to get to live stream some of these matches and see some of these crazy shots. I posted up a video today of, I got to live stream the match where Bernasette hit this airmail that he had no business hitting. The back of the hole was open, but there was Eric Davis had 2 bags slumped over the hole. So if you look at it from that back angle, you're like, all right, even if he hits this airmail, it's probably going to drag the other 2 bags.
Now when you're Steven Bernasette, though.
I mean, I love watching him throw. He's just got a great release. I mean, I think Windsor, after watching Rounders, I was surprised that we didn't see Smith and Bernasette a little bit deeper on. But, they got a tough draw, and it is what it is. But Ryan Smith looks really natural with a slick bag in his hand.
That he does.
So his partner, Eric Anderson, this year won his bracket throwing a slick bag. I wonder if there'll be some sort of conversation there at all. I think is it going to just depend on board condition. But now if the boards at a national are playing very slow, maybe this gives the confidence for Eric to be like, hey, listen, I can throw whatever.
Yeah, which to me, if you go in with that confidence, I can throw with whatever. You're winning.
Yep.
I mean, that's exactly what every pro's searching for. You can't be held to just one bag.
Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and transition over to the bag review. And the bag review is brought to you by Bagz Board, the maker of the original Cornhole bag backpack. If you need patches to go on your sweet-ass bag, visit bagsboard.com. Bagsboard.com, grab yours today. Boom. All right, let's go ahead and... So we have 3 bags from Draggin Bagz and then 1 bag by Olympus Bags. Let's start with Olympus. Grab it.
Let's do it. It's a familiar bag.
This is the Medusa out of Olympus Bags. I do apologize. We've had this bag for a minute. It was hard when we get like these single bags. Sometimes I don't want to just. I want to pair them with something else. Like, we don't just want to have like one.
We don't want to do like. We try not to do 6 bags in an episode or anything. So.
But this is more up your wheelhouse. It's a carpet bag.
That it is.
With a familiar slick side.
And familiar carpet.
Yep, familiar carpet.
So this carpet is it rivals Big Daddy Rival.
It does.
Very, very similar, if not the same. So those of you that have thrown the Rival before, that carpet's it's slightly softer than that of like the BG.
Yeah.
You know, but similar speed. So this is going to be right around that 3-4 range, and then paired with that slide right material that everyone loves to throw on it. So like that's gonna be right around the 7 speed on that side. Yeah, I think so. I'm just gonna stick with that. It's either Slide Right or Widow. It's one of the two.
So I'm thinking it might be.
But anyways, moving on.
Yeah.
I mean, they play the same freaking speed and are very, very similar.
What do you think about the template of the bag?
So I was just about to get to that. I think it's got rounded corners, almost kind of like that common theme that we're seeing with like the emerald type cut, where they kind of just like flatten that corner, but it still gives it that same rounded corner feel in your hand. Mm-hmm. I think the seam work is very, very well done. It's a nice made bag. The closing seam, it's a little bit long, but it's a solid closing seam, very, very high up on the bag.
Yeah.
So you don't get a huge pucker there. Fullness, I think it's kind of right in that it's right in that perfect like honey hole that you want for a carpet bag. All in all, man, I think this is a dynamite bag. You can throw all the shots you want with it. This carpet isn't necessarily as reactive as BG. It kind of hits and like goes and slides a little bit better.
You can get it to move a little bit, but you got to really angle it a little bit.
But the fill is it feels like it's kind of little different sizes in it, so that means there goes your like roll shot. Makes it a little bit harder to hit with it.
Yep.
Won't make the bag as bouncy, but hey, for all those amateur players of the world that listen to this is what you're looking for here. Like, no need to hit that roll shot. Get them to just slide right in the hole. That's the way to victory.
Yep. All
right. So what do you got for design score? Oh, these are not ACL stamped.
Yeah, they're not ACL stamped. Design score. I like the Medusa design.
I do too, actually. You know, we're a little partial because our last name is Asp.
It is a
Medusa's just a pretty lady with a hair full of snakes. So.
Design score. I'm gonna go with a 68.
For me, I'm gonna go a 74.
Okay.
74 on
so
it.
Performance factor. Again, I'm not a big carpet kind of guy. This is pretty common with the materials that we've been seeing. So for me, I'm gonna go 62.
Okay. I'm gonna go 74.
Okay. That's right up there.
Yeah, I think it's a good bag. I think once it fully breaks in, cause the slick side's a little stiff right now.
It just takes a while to break it.
Once it breaks in fully, it'll become a great carpet bag people enjoy for sure. All right, you want to move just right through carpet then?
Yeah. All right, so the next 3 we're gonna review are all from Draggin Bagz.
Little beastie.
All right, so the first bag we have is the Draggin Bagz Beast. Now, I know this is in your wheelhouse. You've thrown this bag a lot.
I have. Yeah.
Roll with it.
All right, so Draggin Bagz Beast. So pretty much you got this. Do you call that slide right on that side?
Yes.
So slide right on the slick side. Carpet side is that same as the Big Daddy. So that would be your Big Daddy crossover. Triple Threat's a different carpet. I'm sorry, but Yeah, the Big Daddy crossover. We've seen it on multiple different bags.
Yeah, if
though.
you're familiar with like Killshot Mob, it's the same type of carpet that's on that.
But we always like to pay homage to the bags we see first with it.
Correct.
But Maddie came out with this bag as like his first carpet bag. I believe we might have reviewed this a little bit in the past when we did like the My Bags and stuff.
I figured we might as well touch on it again.
Yeah, but all in all, like his template for this bag is killer. It
made it more square.
It's more square, so easier to pull bags in that are left on the side. It puts a little bit more of the bag in the hole when you have a corner hanging. Fill wise, he's got a really nice fill to it. It is universal. At least it feels pretty darn universal to me. I'm afraid to like cut these open because I like Draggin Bagz too much. Yeah. So this you can hit that bounce shot. You can
go over speed already.
Kick cut. Speed. You got your 4. You got your 7. Pretty standard.
I know you've talked about this carpet before.
Yes.
This is that type of carpet that you feel like as it breaks down, it starts to lose some of its cutting ability. It
does. Yeah. It kind of starts to straighten out on you. But some of that too, I think, was like this carpet also can paired with a good fast side breaks down into a really like floppy bag. Even though like it still can feel full, it's just real loose.
He made a good change because when the Beast first came out, it was a very full bag.
It was, yeah. He took a little bit of that
probably
out.
Probably overly full.
Yeah.
And he asked for feedback. I mean, that's what a good bag maker does. And that was one of the things that we kind of mentioned to him. Like, this is
right in the wheelhouse. This is the perfect amount of fill that I like. It's not too fat, not too thin. You can still get a good handful in there and get ready to chuck it. And honestly, you can't say anything wrong about how Maddie King's bags are made. Because if you ever need to figure out like what a great closing seam looks like, look at his bags. The seam work all the way around. I mean, it's impeccable. He does a great job. Takes great care of it. So, all in all, great bag. Design score for me. I love the black on black. Yeah, I think it's really slick looking. Give me an 83. I like the look of this one.
Yeah, I was gonna agree. I like this. It's not my favorite design out of the 3, so I'm gonna keep that in mind. So for this design, I'm gonna go with a 78. Performance wise, I throw in this bag. At the ACL Open last year in Erie, in Crew Cup, we threw this bag. Mm-hmm. I threw like absolute dog shit. It was when I was still...
He's not a carpet bag thrower, folks.
Listen, it was when I was still trying to fight this thing. I'm like, I can throw a slow bag and really, you know what I mean? And, throw a flat bag and try to prove to everyone. When really, I should just flip the fucking thing over and just played for that side.
All day.
Because I like his fill. I've always liked the way a bag comes out. I'm a huge Draggin Bagz fan. I have been since day one. We'll get to my favorite bag at the end. I'm gonna give this one. I'll give this a flat 70. Like if somebody wanted to throw the Beast out of a carpet bag, I'm not gonna be mad about it. I like the fill. I like the template. I like the feel it comes out of my hand. So I'll give it a little bit of a nod. So 70 for me for a carpet bag is pretty high.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna go 88. On this bag,
you throw this pretty well.
I do really like it. Now that it has less fill in it, it just made the bag that much better. I mean, to me, I love Maddie's bags just because they're so consistent across the board with how they feel in your hand, and this is no different.
All right, now the next one is the newest bag in his lineup. It is called the Double Dragon. Now, I don't think this bag has been released yet. I thought. Has it been? I don't think it's been released yet.
Yeah, I'm not 100. We can ask him later.
Yeah, we'll find out the release date of this. It's called the Double Dragon. If you are a Draggin Bagz fan, or if you've thrown them before, you'll be familiar with both sides of the bag. So really, this bag is a BG carpet or BG type carpet, right? So same stuff you'll find on the Viking and the Mercenary, but on the slick side, it's gonna be the same material that is used on the RNA and the DNA. On the slick side of this. So I actually like this as like a slick side material. My biggest problem with the DNA was always
there was no variance.
Yeah, there's no change, and I need something that like if I need to push through something, something that's a little bit slicker. But this is like enough of that giddy up. So it plays pretty close to, I would say it plays pretty close to like a Viking, maybe. It depending on bore conditions.
Yeah, really, because like this the slow side does. I mean, it can react a little bit to humidity.
Yeah.
But it's not horrible though. So I mean, I think this is more like in that. It'll kind of be like that 6 to 8 range.
I want to say this is probably in quotes like the slick side of like the DNA.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Probably like the other side. So the slow side again, it's carpet. It plays like a 4, 3 if it starts getting tacky. The slick side can play anywhere from a 6 to like a 7.5.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
like right up there. The nice thing about this slick side materials, it breaks down really nice. It becomes super, very slinky, very hole forgiving.
The beast came in like almost ready to rip.
Yeah.
These gonna take a little bit more TLC. I think a lot of that has to do more so with the carpet.
Yeah.
Being a little stiffer than anything else. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're used to throwing Vikings, just give this some love, man. Break it in the right way. You won't be disappointed.
Again, I think it's smarter that he went with a little bit more of a square template. You can't really say much else. I mean, it's a good feel. It's a good medium feel. It's not overly stuffed. It's not overly floppy. It's gonna fit the wheelhouse of most players.
Yeah,
you know
I agree. Yeah,
it's a good blind draw bag. You know what I mean? Like if you're somebody that's like Draggin Bagz across the board are a good like blind draw bag because you're gonna find common materials, but you're gonna find that hey, like I like a real full bag. I like something that's real floppy. This is gonna be somewhere like right in that sweet spot.
Yeah.
For most people. Design score. Where are you going with this? I love this design.
I was about to say I love this design. I'm going 96 on this design. I think it is really, really cool.
Okay. I do like it. I like the color scheme. I've always been a fan of his designs and stuff. I think it was smart to go away from like a true dragon type look. I like the yin and yang. I'm going to go with an 85.
All right.
Performance-wise, where are you going?
Performance for me, I mean, I do like this bag. I don't quite like it as much as the Beast. I think that's because I like the carpet of the Beast a little bit more.
Okay.
So this one for me, I'm still going to go pretty high up there. Give me an 83 on this one.
Yeah, this is pretty close to the Beast. Again, I'm not... And this is not knocking anybody. I've never been like a Viking mercenary guy, and it has nothing to do like really with like the company or the fill. It's just like that carpet. I don't know what it is. I just don't throw it very well. It's the same thing with this. Now, if I flip the bag over and I can play with it, I could certainly do that all day. But again, these bags just don't necessarily fit into my wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go. Where was I at on the Beast? Beast was at 72 or 70. This I'm gonna go with a flat 70.
All right.
I mean, it's okay. Like I wouldn't be mad if somebody asked me to throw this, but it's not going to be a bag that I'm going to grab right off the bat.
You're just not a carpet bag guy. It's all right.
Now we're going to move on to.
It's a sad shame that everyone wants carpet bags nowadays.
Now we're going to move on to. This is an old school bag, right? We're going to talk about the Draggin Bagz Inferno. Now people are going to be like, "Well, Dragon, that's been around for a while."
Yeah.
It has.
Not this
correct.
version.
But this is like the new version of the Inferno. It has got a brand new template. I was going to bring up one of my other sets of Infernos, one of my older school sets. Still to this day, if you were asking me, I have to, gun to my head, I have to pick like 5 sets of bags that are going to go into my backpack, right? And I have to, like, that I'm going to potentially go in to a money tournament with playing singles. Without a doubt, my original Draggin Bagz Infernos are going in there. They're
I don't think I've ever beat you throwing that bag.
When this bag breaks down, it's arguably the most hole forgiving bag on the market.
Well, we've always kind of coined it as a better version of an all slide.
Correct.
And this is, now that it's got the square template, it's going to become the better version of the all slide.
That is the biggest thing that I noticed. So materials stay the same. Fill and feel in the hand. I mean, this is so... I feel like I can go throw a tournament right now.
Yeah.
Breaks his bag in a little bit. So you have slide right type material on the slow side, and then you have game changer material on the slick side. You put those together, and yes, that makes an all slide, but you have the Matty King touch to it. Just the template of the bag, the care of the bag, the design of it. I really like the fill that he used in it. It's not quite. It's a non-universal fill, which I think is smart because again, when you get into universal fill with bags, you start getting a little bounce. You get a little, and the slide rate material. If you're playing on slow boards, it will grab and it will move a little bit. So this is right in my wheelhouse. This is the type of bag that like I fell in love with Draggin Bagz the first time I picked up the Inferno. That was the bag that might have really brought me like when we were throwing Pro Advantage all the time. But like I'm way better throwing something faster. Like I just don't have to throw it as hard. And
damn you, Maddie.
Listen, I think it was very smart. The OG Inferno was a much more rounded template, and that was at the time when everyone was going for like the rounded bag template. The Pro Advantage was the thing. You know, everyone's like, oh, the bags can kind of slip in and go in all the holes, but the bag can be a little bit hard, especially when it's slicker bag to grab and to pull bags in. This bag is going to play much bigger having these pronounced corners on it now. Now, they're not like, we're not talking like you're going to poke somebody's eye out with the corners. They are folded in a little bit and sewed down, but it is by far the most squared bag that I've seen Maddie come out with.
It just reminds me of the all-slide template.
So I'll be interested. It's definitely going to be a question we're going to ask him during the interview, his thought process on changing up the Inferno. And I would imagine this has got to be the best-selling bag that he's had.
I would imagine so, yeah. I mean, it's the most popular he's had, for sure.
But yeah, so, I mean, I love the design of this, so let's go to design. I love the color scheme. I love the new design of the bag. What are you going with design-wise for this?
I mean, I know I went high up on the Double Dragon with a 96. I'm going 98 on this bad boy.
Yeah, man, I love it. It's not my favorite of any bag, like of every bag we've had so far, but this is gonna find its way into my bag very quickly. Yeah, I'm gonna go 94.
There you go. I'm just more generous, I guess. So for me, actually, I don't mind the Inferno. Like it's still a controllable bag.
Whenever you and I have played slick bags together as a doubles team, like in regional events, we've actually done really well. Like we're actually undefeated when we played with Vipers the one time.
Our best run ever was with Pro Advantage.
Kill shots.
Pro Advantage.
And kill shots. Same. Took second. Both times.
But anyways, my performance on this guy, like I said, I don't dislike this bag at all. I think I actually throw it pretty damn well. Let's go, I'm going to go 84 on it.
Like, you heard it. So next time we play in a regional, we might be throwing Draggin Bagz Inferno.
I just like, for me, it's more just if I'm comfortable with it and I can control it. Yeah. That's really what it comes down to with fast bags for me. So if like you'd hand me this brand new like this and try to go to a tournament, if we take the time to break it in, it'll be controllable and I will thoroughly enjoy it.
I am going to take my time breaking these bad boys in just how I like them. Performance for me, Draggin Bagz Inferno again is still a top 5 bag for me. I'm going 96.
All right.
All right.
You want to slide mine?
Yeah, I can.
Back behind there. Thank you.
All right.
We cover all the bases.
We did. We covered all that shit. Can you believe that?
I think it's time for us to get into that there interview. But first, Shameless Plugs.
Reach us at Instagram and Twitter at BigAsp Cornhole.
And Facebook at BigAsp Cornhole Podcast. Thanks again to our sponsors. Visit localbags.com. Get yourself some nasty, nasty, nasty bags for any kind of thrower. Visit localbags.com and grab your set. And airwolfathletics.com for all your cornhole swag. Use code BigAsp and you'll get yourself 10% off.
Bagsport.com for the best quality backpacks and patches in the game. And blackjackcornhole.com for the sexiest bags around. Code BigAsp will save you 10%. Be sure to check out harddragpush.com, your one-stop shop for all your cornhole content. I'm going to be revamping the Bag Life page soon. I got some plans coming up for some content here, so just bear with us. I have an article coming out maybe this week. I'm hoping. I got to proofread a little bit and make sure, but it's going to be a little bit about a little information on what's going on in the bag world, a little update on what the ACL kind of talked about on them cracking down on certain bag manufacturers, and a little bit on the black market of the bag buying process.
Ooh.
Little teaser.
Titillating.
Little teaser. Apple Podcast reviews. Obviously, we always appreciate any 5-star reviews you give us. Waiting on... we're out of patches, so if you're waiting on patches, they've been mailed out. I don't know what the hell USPS does with these patches, but they take fucking forever. It's in an envelope. I don't get it.
But believe me, we've gone through this
it's
many
so ridiculous.
times.
So I promise you the patches are on their way, but I know a few of you guys have reached out, been like, "Hey, I haven't got my patch." Yeah, it's pretty common. So
yeah, it's coming. I'm sorry.
It is.
It'll be there soon. Yeah.
All right. Well, stay tuned for our interview with the bagsmith himself, owner of Draggin Bagz, Mr. Matty King.
Hell yeah, love that man.
As always, we hope you throw it straight, and it's nothing but 4-baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later.
And this interview is brought to you by Cornhole Solutions. Do you have a cornhole question? Find your answer at cornholesolutions.com. They have the best boards, pitch mats, score towers, bags. You need it, they have it. Answer all of your questions at cornholesolutions.com.
Welcome back to the BigAsp Cornhole Podcast. We are now joined with the one and only bagsmith himself, Matty King. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, guys?
It's been a minute since you've been on, man, but thanks for joining us again.
And I love being on the show, man. Thanks, guys. I appreciate having me back.
Of course,
I know
of course.
we missed seeing you. You went out to the Clash this year, right?
I missed this year.
You missed this year too?
Us too.
Yeah.
I don't know. We gotta link up at a tournament again sometime this season because you're one of our favorite cornhole people.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. You guys are one of my favorite podcast guys for sure.
Lovely.
We're clearly first.
Obviously.
Obviously. Because you're on their show right now, so we'll go with that.
Thank you.
Let's start off by talking. Well, we just got done reviewing your bags on the episode. So before we started recording, we were kind of going over the subtle differences and stuff. I want to start with my favorite bag just because I'm selfish like that, the Inferno. You decided to change up the template. I mean, the Inferno still to this day is one of my top 3, top 5 favorite bags, right? I noticed as soon as I got it out of the box that the template had changed. So what was behind the decision of changing the template?
I wanted to clean up the bag, give it a new look and a little change in performance. And I've never made a square bag minus what I was making back in the corn bag days, 2014, 15 corn bags, square bags. And then I moved into a round bag. Back in the razor days. So, this time I wanted to bring it back, tighten everything up, and just get a different feel in the hands of some of the players that have come to throw Infernos in the past. So I wanted to give them something different to feel, Yeah,
it's definitely the bag's gonna play a lot bigger on the board, and it's definitely gonna be a lot easier to kind of drag and push and pull other bags. So I think it was a smart change. I'm excited. I already said I told Dane I'm taking this bag with me. It's going home with me. So
It's fine. You leave the other 2 for me then.
Yeah. So
all right, those are coming to league with me.
Your newest addition to the lineup is 2 familiar materials across the cornhole world, but is a unique pairing with the double dragon. And you were telling us that bag is live currently. It was released on October 31st. Tell us your thought process behind the double dragon and the pairing of those 2 materials.
I've been asked to use the genetic material from the RNA DNA genome slow side as possibly using it as a fast side because of the properties and the performance factors of it being, low kick, slick sliding. A lot of people got a taste of the RNAs being a tick faster in the drier conditions. So I just kind of turned that side and said, let's make a really, really soft feeling bag by using the softer, slow side of the genetic line on this double dragon with a with the soft pairing of a carpet bag that's pretty popular in the industry right now.
Yeah. It's smart. I think it's going to be a very popular bag if people take a chance on it, especially if you're a carpet bag lover. this is a bag that you have to kind of add to your arsenal. And I know Dane's favorite is the Beast right now.
Oh yeah.
We were privy to getting one of your early sets of Beast, and it was a much fuller bag. And obviously,
Yeah.
I'm assuming you took some feedback from people, and it seemed like you slimmed that bag down a lot. Has that been a kind of a popular choice among people right now, slimming that bag down now?
Yeah. Just going through and fine tuning the bag. There, I'd use an original template from 2020, right around there for that whole thing, and then the handles began to stretch a little bit more than my liking. I didn't prefer them being as, saucer, dinner plate. They just got really big when they really broke in. These two materials on the Beast really have a tendency to stretch out.
Yeah.
And it took me, it takes a while for bags to break in, and really break in. And once I got to seeing these bags out there, I made a decision to really kind of tighten this thing up. Still falls under full specs. It's on the smallest side of the full specs you can get. I mean, I went through 6 different template versions to figure this one out, so it's perfect sized. And just made the proper adjustments to the best performing bag that the regulations will allow.
Okay. Now, I think the last time we talked to you was, I think we were talking, maybe it was about a year ago. Since in that year period, it's crazy to us how much the bag market has exploded. Is this something that you saw coming? Like, did you expect it to blow up as much as it has?
I did kind of I saw that, when, back in 2018, 19, when there was probably 32-ish bag manufacturers on the list. It was the first list. You know, a lot of the big players were, we were all together in there, and then you had, a lot of up and coming bag makers in that group as well to form this 32, 33 list. I mean, I'd really love to figure out how we can go back and find these old lists and see who's still around. But I did kind of see, because what happens is, with the talk and the movement in the industry on the internet, it turns to a lot of people to say, oh man, this is an easy thing to do. So a lot of people came in and said, look, I can do this. I can take 2 pieces of fabric and put them together and fill them with resin. And I think that's what really came about, was a lot of people wanted to get in on a part of the industry. And the growing aspect of, oh, well, we can come up with a creative name too, and we can create our own brand, and we can create our own dope name. And we can, and what happened was, you saw this 32 go to about 42 in like 20, and this last season, I think now we're at like 46. I didn't, with the royalties and the pricings and all the things, I honestly thought that this list would have dropped from the 40s back into the 30s.
Okay.
Because of the expenses,
Yeah.
But it didn't. It grew, and I didn't really see it this season. I didn't see coming. I did not see an excess amount of bag manufacturers coming into the market.
I mean, there's a lot of people betting on themselves. I mean, like you said, you got to put down serious money, right? I mean, to get each one of these series approved. And then with I guess we'll call it a little caveat that they added a little bit later, saying that now all bags that you release have to be ACL stamped. What was your initial thought when that first came out? So I know it was after you guys had already submitted your first series of bags, and then they kind of, we'll call it, tweaked maybe a little wording in the contract that you guys had saying that all bags now have to at least have the rec stamp on it. Was that something that you saw coming? Was that something that surprised you? Were you upset about this?
I didn't see, I did not see the stamp royalty aspect coming at all. I did not see that coming at all. It was a left hook. I mean, for me personally, it was definitely a devastating blow. Because it put me in a position where, I have a very unique amount of followers that use my bags, follow my product, believe in my product, buy my products, play them in the ACL, and it was just kind of a left hook. I mean, it definitely caught me off guard. It was shocking, and it took me. I think I was the last bag manufacturer to sign, because it was kind of to me it was a moral thing to figure out if what did it mean to have to raise, to be locked in, have to be do the things that it was required to continue to be a part of this extremely large organization that was obviously growing exponentially at rates that nobody saw, and it's continuing to grow. And my market has always been the ACL. It's just always been the ACL players, and to not sign that and get in on this process would have left multiple players left with, what are they going to throw? Who are they going to support? When they wanted to support me. So I did it. I went in and said, you know what, we're going to do this because the players supported me. Let's just continue moving on. And it wasn't a bad decision. I don't regret the decision to do it.
Okay.
It's part of the business. It's the way that it looks right now, and anything can change in the future. So I'm not disappointed with making a decision. If it's going to grow the game, I mean, I guess it's going to help the game.
What do you think that could be changed that would be beneficial for, I guess, three parties, the ACL, bag manufacturers, and players, or I guess we'll call them consumers? Is there anything that comes to mind for you? I mean, because you've been around the game for a long time. You know what I mean? Like you've kind of seen the ups and downs, and like you said, the exponential growth. I mean, when you first started making bags in 2014, 2015, I highly doubt that you thought 6-7 years we'd be at this stage of the game. Is there anything that comes to mind where you think that maybe would be a positive change for all parties involved?
Well, I see the aspect of the stamp. I see the reasoning behind the stamp. The depth of the percentage, to start at the point they started was, to me, a little excessive. 15% is quite a large percentage of sales. And, if you look around at other industries, most royalties are down in the 6-7%. I understand what the aspect and why they're trying, what they're after is to create a pot using the bag manufacturers, because the larger guys up above me bring in an excessive amount of money, and that excessive amount of money can be turned into pot money for the payouts. So for me, being a smaller guy, it's a struggle sometimes. It's been a struggle in the last few months. I did some pretty good releases on the tail end of mid 20, and sales dropped. My royalties are more difficult to pay because they're so high. I could use that money for something else to continue growing the brand, and I pay the ACL. So it's all just dependent on the size and the growth of the brand and the business and the bags is what
Do
it
you
really
feel? Do you
boils
feel
down
like
to.
this
So,
model that they're going after right now? Do you feel like eventually they're trying to wean out a lot of these smaller bag companies that so maybe they have less to police?
I personally feel, as well as a couple others in the industry, that it's so, the bag industry within the ACL is so vast, with 46, I think, I haven't done the total count, but it's around 46 bag manufacturers that are in this that are in the ACL. on the list. And it creates a very wide option pool for players to go with, and it also increases the aftermarket flood. That what happens is when you get a huge aftermarket flood, people will prefer to go through the aftermarket to purchase bags than to go directly to the website, which and if we were to funnel the system into a tighter amount of bag manufacturers, I don't know a number, but I mean, if we could tighten, and I'm not sure the system of how to do it, but tighter, a little less in the bag industry, just because it's going to hurt. It's going to begin to hurt the bag industry and the royalties and all the payout in the way that the system is right now.
So let me ask your opinion. So ACL, they came out with a statement this week, basically addressing some bag issues that Lucky Bags had. But then previous to that, they'd also released kind of like a small policy change saying that they were going to start policing that bag manufacturers they could no longer market bags or sell bags that were going to take longer than 30 days from the time of purchase. Are you okay with that policy? Is that something that you feel as a bag manufacturer that the ACL has the right to govern? Or should it be, listen, if somebody wants to buy my product and it takes me longer than 30 days, so be it? Like, where do you stand on that?
The 30-day policy is, I think it's justified with the consumer in mind. I mean, there's certain factors and reasonings why bags would take longer to make, and most likely to be due to production manufacturing size. I would say, anybody in the top 5, top 6 that are major, I would say that they should not have a production issue at this point in the industry, compared to if it was 3 or 4 years ago, where everybody was new and small and it was tough and there were floods. And I mean, we remember when all Cornhole had a massive shipping problem in the beginning. We remember when Ultra had a massive shipping problem in the beginning. Like, these are, a couple years ago, and rightfully so. Popularity drives it. They're outside of their zone of being able to manufacture. It would be to say that, yes, they should be ramping up their production scale to match so that we can keep it within a certain range of shipping and producing to shipping, ordering to shipping. And that should be a priority for any manufacturer in any industry. In any industry, there should be that. There were hiccups in COVID, obviously, and there's still hiccups nowadays. I mean, we have 55 ships that are sitting out in the harbors and they're holding on to product, and that's going to cause issues. But I think some of the other ones that were coming up were just manufacturing scaling issues that I think with the solid business plan in mind, those things could have been settled by now. I mean, myself, I'm small, extremely small. I don't know. This is probably, like you said, it's live.
He's showing you the dragon's lair.
Listen, he's showing you the lair right now if you're watching on YouTube. He's checking out. It's a one-man show.
So this is just, I just moved in here 3 months ago. This is, there's the sewing machine. That's why I feel it.
Exactly. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, this is one man, hours and hours and hours, and thousands of bags are made by those hands, man. So it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, and for me, my business model is for, say, I kill shot or lucky bag. If I explode overnight, that also equates to capital. and that capital gets to be used to increase my production size as fast as possible. Not to say that these other individuals didn't try or make attempts to, and from what I'm gathering and hearing over the internet is a lot of these guys are doing a really good job ramping up their production and getting bags out faster, which is, optimal. I envision that all bag manufacturers want to get these bags to these players as fast as possible. That's the only way we really get to grow our products, is to get them in the hands so they can break them in. I mean, dude, people breaking in bags all these new ways is beautiful, because they can instantly get the feedback they want and then put them in on the boards, and then people come over and ask questions about the bags that are broken, and it continues to drive the industry, when these bags are broken in, and we want to get them out faster so that we can sell more bags. I personally do not want to be at a 14 to 8, 24 business day back order. I don't, but sometimes it happens, and it's only because I'm one guy here with one machine, and sales aren't always the best. So I don't have this scale of, increasing my size, but I'm in a position now where things are coming out quicker, and I am intentionally putting more effort into getting them out faster. I prefer them to have the bags faster. So the 30-day policy, I think that we as a bag making industry should be able to fall into those ranges. I'm not sure about the stringent, can't even say the word, how stringent it should be for falling outside. And there are the companies that have the issues with falling outside, and I don't have any real say on, I just don't have any say on those companies. I don't know their situations or anything like that. So I don't have anything to say about what they're
I heard
doing.
that the whole policy came out, and I can't confirm or deny this, but Trey Ryder ordered some Kangas and he's still waiting on it. So he's like, "Oh, I'm done."
Yeah, I know.
So let me ask
I
you,
think
let me ask you
I
another question. So this is something that like I've thought about a bunch, and I guess I don't understand. So you brought up before, like you had Kill Shots, you have Lucky, you have like these bag manufacturers that have kind of blown up seemingly overnight, or at least
yeah.
nothing else in like the last year. Why hasn't Draggin blown up yet? I mean, you've been around. Your bags have been in the hands of thousands of people. Like, why? What is it? What is it that you're thinking you're missing? Is it that? Is it that ACL broadcast? Is it that one main stage? Is that what? Is that what the only thing that you're missing?
That's it, man. If you look at the track records of the companies that have blown up, Ultra did a great job of blowing up without it. I commend Mark Pryor in his work in how he got Ultra to extremely just blow up with, he blew up without TV coverage, and I commend that. But most of the other ones made TV coverage, victories, had high level players throwing their bags in the industry. As the players out there, I have come to find that if the biggest of the top players are not throwing those bags, it makes it that much more difficult. And that's probably what's happened, and that's it could be part of it. I haven't figured out exactly why. All I do know is I'm going to continue to put the best product out there I can and let the industry make the decisions that they're going to make.
Do you think like so? Obviously, I'm sure you're aware of some, the ACL off season and people signing with bag manufacturers as sponsors, and some of these dollar amounts are starting to get really up there. Like, is it worth it for? I mean, I guess there's a few different models you can go with, but is it worth it in your opinion for like these small bag manufacturers to go all in on one or two players in the hopes? I mean, because to me, it's like it really is a gamble. I mean, you're putting everything you have in it on will they make a broadcast and then my bag will be seen on TV and then maybe then people will want to throw it because it's not a guarantee. Are you surprised with the dollar amounts that you're hearing for that people are acquiring for bag sponsorships now?
The individuals that are getting the amount of money that I've been hearing get them, they a majority of them, upwards of 90% of these individuals, definitely deserve the dollar amounts they're getting.
Yeah.
They have worked extremely hard. They worked extremely hard. They really have. And those dollar amounts, and here's the thing, they're worth what they're going to get paid because they're getting paid that amount. So that's what justifies it. And in my honest opinion, I believe that it's only going to go higher, and to pick up players now at the prices that they're picking them up at is going to be inexpensive compared to 5 years from now.
Oh yeah.
It'll turn into a closer to a golf sponsoring kind of situation. These
I think
kids will be
you're gonna see
making
more
200.
Well, that's, I'm surprised that we didn't start seeing multi-year deals this year. I mean, I know there's been a few. Like I know Matt and Jamie last year had signed a multi-year deal with Fire, but I'm surprised we're not seeing more of that now, because if you're smart and you're going to bank everything on it, signing somebody to a multi-year deal at a certain rate is going to be a lot better than, like you said, waiting 3, 4, 5 years from now, where it might, double, triple than what people are getting right now.
Well, I think you also segued too, as well, like talking about this year jumped up to like right around 46 bag makers. Some of those bag makers came in as heavy hitters with deep pockets to start.
Yeah.
And like they signed, and I think they went all in on a couple players, and I think they're kind of taking the Fire Cornhole route, except you didn't sign the number one player of all time in Cornhole, but they're still banking on some really, really solid talent. So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. I mean, I think Jason McCannon took a gamble last year and it paid off dividends. And I think a lot of people
to pick up the guys and to pick up
Well, also that gamble, good job of getting bags out very quickly, and their customer service is very good. And you compare it to a company like Lucky Bags, who obviously Trey Birchfield had a crazy amount of success, and the Surefire was the hottest bag on the market. But there's also a large population in the cornhole community that wants nothing to do with their bags anymore because it was taking so long to get in. They had customer service issues. So I think you can kind of give and take a little bit of everything. So
McCannon has done an absolutely fantastic job with Fire. I've watched him. Obviously, we all have. And we're good friends. We play golf. We chat around. We mess around on Messenger, and I've also had the pleasure of meeting Mike Hennessy multiple times at different tournaments throughout last year, and he's a great guy. It just, certain things happen in life, and I'm fairly sure that he will succeed and make it through all of this, and bring everything back around into a better light, and just do it the way he wants to do it. I know he wants to do it in the right way. He's just having some hiccups.
He's just going through the growing pains that you were describing earlier.
Yep.
Granted, it was on a massive scale very fast, because his bags blew up like seemingly overnight. But I think it's the headaches that he's seeing right now. He's seeing the product of a small bag manufacturer that's on a large scale right now.
Yeah, that could happen to me very easily. Who knows? The bags making on TV.
We want you to have those kind of problems.
And that being said,
I'd love that.
Folks listen to this at home. You heard us rave about these bags. The market is crazy for carpet right now. Everyone wants to try every kind of carpet. I'm telling you, the Beast, the Double Dragon, get your hands on it. I just don't get how the Beast specifically has not blown up for you, because it's a great bag. We've seen these materials work on multiple different companies, and your fill template, everything ratio on it it's money.
Thank you.
So I wanted to change pace just a little bit. We were not directly accused, but it was hinted at that we basically on this podcast just do bag reviews and drink beer, and that's the only podcast we are, and we don't ask the serious tough questions. So I wanted to bring up a topic of conversation that I don't know if it's necessarily difficult is the right word. It's definitely a little bit of change of pace for us. I had a few people reach out to me today, and they wanted to know about you've been pretty public about your sobriety in the game, and touching on a little bit like how long you've been sober for, why you made that decision, and then if you have any advice for players who maybe struggle with that a little bit in the game, because obviously cornhole is a game where you're surrounded by a little bit of everything, right? I mean, there's always
Yeah.
beer for sale. I mean, amongst many other things around a cornhole event. So, why did you decide to make that decision? And any advice you could give to other players who are maybe struggling with something similar?
Yeah. Um, um, I've enjoyed alcohol all my life. For since at least I was 19, and had a lot of good times with it, had a lot of bad times with it. Just nothing outlandish, but I mean, I've had just about as much fun as you can have without going to jail, without getting my ass kicked or kicking somebody's ass. So
I don't think that's in your DNA,
I've
man.
had a really good run. No, it's not. It's not. More like my ass would get kicked. But I've had my fair share of experience with alcohol. It weighed on my marriage for many years, and you know it you know it broke my marriage up, and that was when I realized that something that I had so much fun with could create so much damage that that was no longer an option. It was no longer an option. And then it dawned on me that in order to move into bigger steps in life, to move beyond where I was in my life, to create greater things for me and my family, regardless of my marriage status, my family, I needed to have a 100% clear head, clear minded. I needed to be able to feel the emotions that were there and actually accept them for what they were. Get through all the good times and the bad times while being able to figure out what I wanted to do for my next move in any part of my life. And alcohol was not a part of that. It took a rock bottom to do it. It was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, though. And it's done a lot of great things for me to be sober. And I now use that. I hope I can use that as a beacon for other players that are looking and seeing that you can throw really good bags sober. And it's not easy to start, but once you get into it, you can actually throw really good bags being sober and be in this place and be around people when alcohol is not involved in your life, while it's still being involved in the aspect of your business and the people around you. I've given multiple rides, 100% DD. So I'm always open to drive people wherever they want to go, to make sure that they're safe, so that they can still have fun. The people that are out there that are looking to get sober, if your life is looking like it's taking a turn, you can do it. My highest suggestion is to honestly find an AA room, find a room, go every day, make it part of your life, get a sponsor, get the big book. It'll change your life forever in the better.
And how long have you been sober for now?
2 years and 2 months.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
It takes a courageous person to be able to make that step.
Dude, especially in this scene, let's be serious.
It's not easy.
It's inevitable around here. You know what I mean? Like, it really is.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I had the privilege of hanging out with you at the Clash, and I mean, honestly, like, yeah, we like to enjoy beers, but like, let's be honest, I'm a large man. It takes a lot for me to even feel it. So like, for me, beer now is just kind of like, it's just there. I like to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And hanging out with you out there, like, I mean, you would never know that you weren't having the time of your life, because honestly, cornhole is just fun, people. Like, you don't need the alcohol to have fun. And you haven't mentioned on this episode yet, I know we've said it in the past, but Maddie King, I mean, you're a hell of a thrower. So yeah, you're talking about like being able to throw bags, when being sober. I do struggle with that a little bit, but it's 100% mental for me, because I can go out in my backyard and throw 110 deck around fully sober after work. It's just something about like lining up to boards in competition seems to be my little mental lapse right now. But honestly, I commend you for your efforts in the being sober, and man, honestly, you carry it well, man. You carry it very
Thank
well.
you.
Hell
Thank you, man. I
yeah.
appreciate that.
All right, so we're gonna go to some listener questions. It's one of my favorite segments.
Cool.
So
Absolutely.
people post some questions. I always love it. Andrew Petrovich, he wants to know: is there one material that you've tested in the past that you decided not to use, but maybe you wish, like looking back on it, maybe you're like, damn, like I think that would have made a good. Is there anything like that you felt or that you had tried early on, maybe that somebody else is using now? You're like, damn, like maybe I should have tried that.
You know, there are definitely materials out there that look, and I base everything performance wise through weather conditions and everything. And I look at what the bags that are being used with the materials that I could have options to use. I guess the one material, and this is going to be interesting, but the one material that I would love to use is this thing I found. And I'm not going to, most people out there know Joann's is such a great place to find materials. Well, I found one a couple years ago, and I looked at it, right? I looked at it and I didn't really mess with it. It didn't sublimate, I couldn't press it. And then, I was like, well, screw it. I can't do it. I turned back around to look for, I'm delving, trying to find this carpet. I didn't ask anybody about carpet. I had to dig the freaking fabric industry to find all this stuff. Well, I found the types of what it was. And I went into Joann's, and this one place had like 2 yards left of this material that I'd seen forever. And I looked at it and like, that's that. And I grabbed it. I went back. I made some. God, it was the best feeling freaking bag I've ever made. Carpet. I mean, it was just different type. It was so amazing, but I couldn't find it anywhere. I couldn't find it online. And all of a sudden, I managed to find the manufacturer. I don't know how I did it, but I dug the manufacturer out of the internet. And I'm like, can I get, like, what's it going to take for me to get this stuff? Like, I want to use this. And the guy goes, oh yeah, we can reopen the line of fabric if you buy 30,000 yards. And I'm like,
holy shit,
30,000 yards, that's not bad. If I divide it over 5 colors, 6 colors, I give him a contract deal, we'll do it over 2 years. And he's like, no, that's 30,000 yards of color. Yeah, right. So
have you seen that material on a bag used today?
Not today. It was used. I forget the manufacturer, but I did see this material in use. It was at the Wild West Shootout to 2018. I was playing and I held a bag. I think it's somebody from the West Coast. It wasn't Ultra, but it was another bag maker. God, was it? C3 might have been making that bag. He might have made it. He doesn't make it anymore because they don't have the fabric, but okay. I was at there and I think that was his bag. And I was like, oh my God, this stuff is awesome. It's like, I threw it and it's like super slow. And I'm like, whoa, why didn't I use this? And I never really turned on to it, and now I really look back, I wish I'd made it, but at the same time, I would never have been able to get the fabric. So, that was probably the only regret I had about that.
Yeah, well, Lucas Meyer wants to know, is your go-to nail polish still black?
Man, I have a multitude of colors and like finishes too. I love a chrome finish, man. Anything in a chrome finish, man. I'm trying to find the color. I'm trying to find the color of my Lamborghini when I get to that spot. It's like I got to color this car somewhere.
Hell yeah!
If it looks good on me, then it's gonna look good on my car, right?
Yeah. Nicholas Howell wants to know, what would be on your Mount Rushmore of bags all time
that I've made
in general?
Yeah, in general.
All right, let's start off with
yours, and then we'll go to another, and then we'll go other manufacturers.
Thank you.
I got to answer the others too.
Okay.
Just the popularity and what it did for the industry, I really got to go with the Razor Sharp I really got to go with the OG razor and what it did, you know, and how it changed the industry. And that material, you know,
Yep.
just that's got to be the Mount Rushmore bags for me right now.
Okay. What about if you had to pick 4 for the Mount Rushmore of other bag companies, and you can include your own? What would be on it?
Um, God, I love a Pro Advantage. I've always loved a Pro Advantage. I was asked to copy it multiple times, and even if I found the fabric, I told people even if I found the fabric, I wouldn't do it. Out of respect for Jeff, that I would never copy a Pro Advantage 100%. So Pro Advantage. Let's see. Oh, I got a whole bunch of bags. Let me look through my bag stock. I have everybody's bag over here. Oh, here's my favorite. See, that's in my bag stock down here. I keep
There we
everybody's
go.
stuff that we do bag swaps. You know what, dude? I love the Viking. So we're gonna have to go with the Pro Advantage or Viking.
Okay.
And I really like the Fire Assaults. That's a really good
That's a nice
bag.
bag. That's a really good bag. Yep.
Really good
Totally
bag.
agree.
He really came up with a good concept there. And right now, I really have to say, what was it? Let's see. So, what is that? The Combat. Kind of like the Combat. You know what I'm saying? I like that carpet.
We have not gotten our hands on the cutthroat bags yet, or contraband.
Yeah.
Contraband.
Yeah, we haven't
The
got
Combat.
those yet.
You know, I recognize the Combat. Very, very, very recognizable bag, Mr. Noah Wooten. I appreciate that. So the Combat, I'll have to say the Assault, the Pro Advantage, and the
Yeah, the
Viking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your Mount Rushmore all time.
My round
Mount, wow.
Cripes.
Yeah, have another beer.
Mount Rushmore. To start off, I got to go with you on Pro Advantage for sure, 100%. It's basically what made me love the game. Honestly, like it's where I found my love. So got to throw that up there. Next up, dude, I got to go with OG Killshot 357. Something about that bag. I threw it at a very high level. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now the template's changed and I'm not as big of a fan, but OG 357 I'll throw on there. Next up, I think I got to go with a Baghdaddy crossover. To me, it's the OG bag with the same carpet on as the Beast. Once we first started throwing it, again, that was another bag that I kind of felt like that was the first one that allowed me to really manipulate a bag and kind of find a different part of my game. Yeah. And then last but not least, I'm gonna go with a new one that we have, and I'm gonna go with TC Board's Hoka Hey. Okay. For some reason, it's a speed that I like to throw right now, and that Mount Rushmore list is gonna change day by day, honestly. So
well, if I'm going Mount Rushmore, I think of like the most iconic like 4 bags, right? For me, like just so across the board, like you have to have Pro Advantage up there. I mean, it's no brainer for me. You have to put Game Changer up there just for how much that bag has changed.
So
the game.
You're going with the world. I want your Mount Rushmore. I don't care. I don't care about the world.
If I'm making a Mount Rushmore,
you will never. I will never ever see you throw a Game Changer.
You might.
No, I will not.
Well, if I'm going with mine, oh man. All right. So obviously, Draggin Bagz Inferno is up there. Obviously,
Maddie, it's the one bag I've never beat him with. Kicks my ass every time he throws with it.
I have to go with Ultra Viper, like OG Ultra Viper is still one of my favorite bags to this day. I gotta go. People are giving me shit, but Cornhole Scenario, the Friction, I love that fucking bag. I don't know what it is. I throw it really, really well. And I'm trying to think what the last one would be.
724.
It could be a chaos. It could be
grenade.
You
were gonna go chaos on it, but maybe I'm wrong.
Man, yeah, I'll go. Oh man,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, mine's gonna change day to day.
Yeah, I'll go.
In this moment, I liked my list.
I'll go 724 grenade. 724 grenade
Yeah.
is right up there with me. But it's so hard, man. Like there's so many different freaking
Yeah.
bags out there, and we throw so many different types. All right, let me see. There's one more. Okay, so Nick Courier wants to know the new bag, the Double Dragon, brings up the '90s nostalgia for me. If you could bring back one '90s style or trend, what would it be? I feel like this has got to be right up your alley.
I'm wondering, like, when I saw that, I was like, man, what do I mean? Is he like referencing, like, would we like incorporate this trend or style into a bag?
Is there like a big? Are you a like big Jinko
I mean,
jean fan?
Were you? Yeah, I was gonna say, were you a
Do you have,
big
like, the
baggy
Jinkos
jeans
back in the
guy?
day?
I was so in the '90s. I was in high school, so there really
Chain
wasn't
wallet?
Jenga then. But no, I was nerd geek. So, but I turned raver in like late '90s. So, I mean, Jenko would definitely. I mean, I love their artwork, man. Jenko made
Yeah.
a really good artwork. So did Echo.
Yeah.
Eco Lab, or what's it called?
Yeah,
Eco
yeah.
Limited.
Yeah.
Eco Limited. I mean, that'd be a great. I mean, I'd love to collab with those guys or something like Jenko and use some of this artwork they came out with was. God, it was great, man.
I knew you'd
You know?
appreciate the artwork. That's why I kind of pegged you as a Jinko guy, honestly. Like,
Yeah, dude. Yeah, oh, dude. I had all of it, man. I had all of it.
Sean, what about you? I mean, we were in '90s. To me, it'd be Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh man.
Dude, I mean, love that show. I mean, I was born in '89, so the '90s for me was early childhood.
Oh,
But I
early
remember,
childhood. Yeah.
I remember ripping through Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and loving every second of it.
I don't know. Sometimes I wish like the NFL would stop being pussies and they actually.
Hey, it's a trend you can bring back too.
Yeah, maybe that.
I mean,
yeah.
don't blow the whistle on, when the referee hip checks a player, because that was, my gosh, I don't know.
What else was there? Like Sega. Like, wasn't it Sega, Nintendo?
Oh yeah, Sega Genesis was.
Well, yeah, and video games
killer.
were. Yeah, like Super Nintendo was there.
Yep.
Sega. They were just coming out with like. Was it
I think
GameCube?
PlayStation came out in like '99.
Yeah,
I
something
believe.
like that. PlayStation original. Oh my god, like Crash Bandicoot and all those.
Yeah, I mean,
here we go.
I remember Sega, rocking the Sega Genesis, playing Mortal Kombat at like 6 years old when I should not have been playing Mortal Kombat.
Oh my god, dude! Tell me about it. Oh, Jesus.
All right, Maddie, I got one question for you.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in November. It's turkey time. What is the one go-to dish that you have to have at Thanksgiving?
God, I'd have to say, I mean, it really is like turkey, mashed potatoes, and gravy. That's like my plate. I don't need all the other
You're not a
riffraff.
fluff guy.
Oh,
I like it.
no, I'm sorry. It's always got to be Hawaiian frickin'. It's got to be Hawaiian sweetbread, mayonnaise, and day after frickin' turkey. Come on.
Yeah, I agree.
Come on.
Yeah, the second day sandwich is almost better than the actual meal.
Ooh, man, get
The
after
sad thing
it.
is, like, I make a turkey every year for the family, but for some reason, whenever I make those sandwiches, I feel like I take even longer making my lunch the next day because it's like 3 layers. I really go after it.
He really does.
Tell me, you guys are deep fried a turkey. Come on, you guys are out there.
Last year was my first time smoking
a turkey, which
and
was
that
phenomenal.
turned out phenomenal.
Yeah.
Honestly, Maddie, I don't deep fry anything. I don't deep fry any food. I know my body lies and says that I do, but I promise you, like, I cook all of our meals at home and I do not deep fry anything.
Well, what about the turducken? Come on, let's go.
I mean, that's
going to be next.
level.
Yeah, that's going to be next on my list. I'm gradually getting up there. I've only had to make 4 turkeys for the family. So, maybe not this year, but maybe next year I'll venture into the turducken.
Well, and this year it'll be different because normally we have to make 2 separate turkeys because my grandparents weren't, and when they were still here with us, they weren't allowed to have salt. So there'd be like one like sad turkey, and then there'd be like
and then there'd be my turkey that I would just like do to the nines.
Yeah, right. Turkey soup. Don't forget turkey soup.
Oh, yeah, can't go wrong with any of that stuff.
Yep.
All right.
Maddie, thank you very much for joining us, man. Shout out where can people buy your bags? What's the website?
DraggingBagz.com, and this is where it is right here. See that guy right there?
So it's Draggin Bagz with a Z.com.
With a Z.com, and
So
there's a QR code.
DRAGGIN, and then bagswithaz.com. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, if you guys do, if you're listening to the show, I would hope by now you've at least purchased a set and tried them out. The 3 bags that we reviewed today, if you are a slick bag player and you don't own a set of Draggin Bag Infernos, you're doing yourself a disservice. I'm telling you, it is one of the best bags I've ever thrown.
And if you are a carpet bag thrower and you haven't ever touched a beast, I mean, they're relatively new. Get your hands on some because they are phenomenal. And
they last forever. Your
yeah.
bags, like, you don't ever see a Draggin Bag, like, you don't ever see people reaching out to complaining about Draggin Bags busting open.
Oh yeah, I had a seam blow open on my second toss. Never. But then the new double Draggin, I am so excited to get that fully broken in. Really talk about the softness that you were alluding to earlier, and I mean it's another cool carpet bag. You also said that it tends to roll more than kick. I think a lot of people are looking for that in their game.
It's a great roll bag too. It's a great roll bag, semi-cut bag. It definitely will cut if you needed to. It's definitely a great roll bag. It's a smooth slider. It's kind of an all-around bag. It really is. It's a truly all-around double bag. It's really great.
So two things. So you never hear a Draggin Bag breaking open, right? And the other thing is you don't see a lot of Draggin Bags on the open, on the aftermarket. And the reason is because when people buy them, they like them and they use them, so they're not trading them and getting them up. So things to keep in mind, folks. Let's give Draggin Bags. Let's get him a Lamborghini. I mean, that's all the guy wants. He wants Lamborghini to match how polished. That's it. I mean, let's get him to that.
And he never said the year or anything.
Yeah,
so like, I mean, this could be like an '85 Lambo with like 350. All right, it'll still be around 80.
Let's give the listeners a discount code. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Hey, let's do it. We're always
Let's
down.
say ask 10 for 10% off any orders. We'll build the code right now.
There you go. We're also gonna throw that in on the notes as well.
Yep.
So people, like when you click on the link, we'll have that in the notes in case you forget for some reason, like 10 minutes after you listen to the episode. So that's awesome, Maddie. Hell yeah, let's give people a discount.
Support Draggin Bag. Support Matty King. He's one of our favorite people in the cornhole community. You're welcome on our show anytime you want, man. Thank you again. We love having you on.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course, brother.
All right, so we'll let the folks at home go, and then we'll keep you on just for a minute. Later, guys.
All right.
Cool.
Later.
Later.